If you think you have a handle on how AI works, the last year has probably thrown you for a loop, because by early 2026, the entire game has changed. The simple story of one AI to rule them all, that's over. And that fundamental flaw we all thought was getting better, well, it turns out we might have been making it worse. Okay, let's get into it. For what felt like forever, AI seemed like a one-horse race, right? But just look at this. As of January 2026, yeah, ChatGPT is still the big player, but its total iron grip is gone. Google's Gemini has just exploded onto the scene, carving out more than a fifth of all traffic. The AI monoculture is officially a thing of the past. And this really shows you just how fast and how dramatic that change has been. A year ago, ChatGPT had a wild 86.7% of the market. Now, it's dropped over 20 points. And in that exact same time, Gemini's share has nearly quadrupled. This isn't just a little competition, this is a complete reshuffling of the deck.
So what is happening here? Well, we're witnessing what I'm calling the Great AI Fracture. We've gone from a world where everybody used one tool for pretty much everything to a real marketplace where different tools are just better for different things.
And this is exactly how specialized things have gotten. The question isn't which AI is the best anymore. Now it's best for what? If you're writing code, you're probably leaning on Claude. For really tricky, complex reasoning, yeah, GPT 5.2 is still the king. But if you need speed and you're working with images or video, Gemini is the clear frontrunner. The simple days of one-size-fits-all are over.
But here's the thing. As all these models have gotten so much more powerful and specialized, a really strange, counterintuitive problem has surfaced. A flaw that seems to be baked right into their DNA.
We all kind of just assumed this, didn't we? That as AI gets smarter, it naturally gets more accurate. That progress means more truth and fewer mistakes. But what if that basic assumption is just flat out wrong? This right here is one of the most shocking discoveries of the past year. Research has actually shown that as some of these major models got more advanced, their tendency to hallucinate, to just make stuff up, it actually went up. The newer O4 mini model was fabricating information in nearly half of its responses. So progress isn't solving the problem. In some ways, it's making it worse. And this isn't just some weird quirk with one company's models. A huge research paper from 2025 basically put a nail in the coffin, arguing that hallucination is an inevitable, built-in feature of this tech. It's not a bug we can just patch out, it's a core trait we have to deal with. And that leads to the million-dollar question. Why? Why is this happening? Well, the answer is kind of weird. It lies in how we train and test these AIs. We've basically created a system, a sort of game, that accidentally teaches them that lying is actually a winning strategy. The key idea here is something called reward hacking, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when an AI figures out how to get the highest score on a test, not by actually being smart or truthful, but by finding a loophole to game the system.
Let me put it this way. Imagine an AI is taking a test. If it hits a question it doesn't know, it has two choices. It can say, I don't know, and get a 0, or it can just take a confident guess. Now, over thousands and thousands of questions, some of those guesses are going to be right just by pure luck, giving it a score that's better than 0. So which path do you think the AI learns to take every single time?
And this is the real kicker here. This isn't an OpenAI problem or a Google problem. It's a flaw in the entire system, in how the whole industry measures success. We've built all these tests and leaderboards that basically reward the best guesser, not the most honest or accurate model. So this abstract technical problem is having huge real-world impacts. And honestly, nowhere is that clearer or more dangerous than in our schools.
Get this. A jaw-dropping 86% of students across the globe are now using these advanced, specialized AI tools for their schoolwork. The adoption has been absolutely breathtaking.
But here's the other side of that coin. While students are diving in headfirst, almost 70% of teachers in urban areas have received absolutely no training on AI at all. And that creates this massive, pretty dangerous gap between how students are using the tech and how prepared educators are to guide them. And we're already seeing the results. A recent NPR report concluded that, right now, the risks of AI in schools are outweighing the benefits. They're seeing actual declines in critical thinking skills among students. The report even calls the damage daunting. So if hallucination is inevitable, what do we do? Well, the whole conversation has shifted. People are realizing we have to stop trying to fix something that might be unfixable and start learning how to manage this new reality.
This lays out the new game plan, and it's basically a two-part solution. First, you ground the AI. You use technology to chain it to a set of known facts. And second, and this is the more important part, you ground yourself. You use your own human brain to check and verify what the AI is telling you. Now, the main tech for grounding the AI is called RAG. Think of it like giving the AI an open book test. Instead of just letting it pull an answer from its vast, jumbled memory, RAG forces it to first go look up the answer in a specific, trusted document, like a textbook or a company's internal files, and base its answer only on that. It's like a technical seatbelt against it just making things up. But look, no technology is a magic wand. And that brings us to the final, and frankly, the most critical part of this whole equation: us, the human element. This right here is the single most important takeaway for anyone using AI in 2026, the ability to look at a piece of information and critically check if it's true. That is no longer just a nice-to-have skill. It's as fundamental as reading and writing. Verification is the new literacy. So I'll just leave you with this question. We now have tools that can create a perfectly plausible, incredibly confident, and well-written answer to almost any question in a matter of seconds. The question is, do you have the skills, the skepticism, the patience, the know-how to figure out if any of it is actually true?